I doubt was gonna happen. And I learned this lesson very hard in 2024. I haven't read anything by this author yet. What's the point of having so many book subscriptions? Hi guys, this is Dan. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, Happy New Year. I hope you all had a fabulous, fantastic holiday, and that is also the reason why in the past 2 weeks, I didn't really upload any video because I want to enjoy my holiday. So back to the purpose of this video. It is New Year, and what a perfect time to set our reading goal for 2025. So in today's video, I will talk about what do I want to achieve in terms of reading in 2025, and also what books or series I want to read. Maybe we can begin with my reading goal in 2025. First of all, it is about how many books I would like to finish in a month. The answer for this question is actually pretty simple. I set a goal for myself back in 2024, which is to at least complete 4 books in a month. And I would like to keep this good old habit because I can hit this goal every single month. I know I said it many times before, it is not like a massive number in this community, but it is a number that I am confident and comfortable to finish for every month. Again, if the books I am reading, maybe they are short novellas so I can complete them very quickly, or maybe all of a sudden I can read a lot, which I doubt will gonna happen. Of course, this number can go up. I don't just limit myself to finish 4 books in a month. It can be 5, 6, or even more if I can. Also, this number only includes physical books or even e-books. I didn't count audiobooks in it because I see it as a separate thing from my monthly TBR. If everything works according to the plan, I would read at least 48 physical or e-books. On top of that, there would be more audiobooks. Fingers crossed. Other than just the number of books I want to finish in a month, I will also try to be more diverse in terms of my reading genre. I hope that I can be able to read different kind of genre in a month. If you can't tell by the name of this channel, I mainly read fantasy or very occasionally sci-fi. And in 2024, my focus is always about the epic fantasy. There is honestly nothing wrong with that. But for me, if I read 2 epic fantasy in the same month, my reading pace wouldn't be great because they are also dense and thick. There are so much information my mind needs to process. And I learned this lesson very hard in 2024. I messed it up quite a lot last year. So I really hope that in 2025, I can explore different kind of fantasy. Maybe like, what's the name of that book? That gothic book that is about like a detective story set in Paris in 19th century? Oh, The Strange Beast, which is like a thriller fantasy, or maybe something like The Tinted Cup, a mystery. So here, I would like to hear about your suggestions. Is there any good thriller, mystery sort of fantasy? Because they are such a good palate cleanser in between these massive books. Or maybe if I really need to, I can go back to my guilty pleasure, very dramatic, chaotic romance. All this can help me preventing burnout of reading, which is the last thing I want to happen to me. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel Fantasy so you would know how well my reading gonna be in 2025. Why not also share your reading plan for this new year? Are there any books or series you can't wait to get into, or how many books you want to complete in a month? You can share all your thoughts down in the comment below. Moving on, I want to talk about my book subscription. If you don't know me, I did join quite a lot of fantasy book subscription in 2024. Quite a lot of time. It is like I signed up for the wait list long time ago, and I have been waiting for so long for this invitation, and I feel like I can't miss this chance. So I ended up with quite a lot of them. After this holiday break, I started to rethink about how I should spend my money on this hobby, reading. Especially now I got this Kobo for my Christmas. So I was thinking, what's the point of having so many book subscription? Yes. I know that I talked about Kindle maybe around Black Friday last year, and now I switched to Kobo. But don't worry, later I would definitely make a video about my experience of using this new Kobo Libra color, the reason why I switched from Kindle to Kobo, or maybe compare this to e-readers in general. Now, getting this Kobo means that I mainly or even solely read on this e-reader, and I barely read any physical books. So now I come across with a massive question. What's the point of having so many book subscription? Don't get me wrong here, there is nothing wrong, it is fine, it is okay to have multiple book subscription and get different kind of sort of beautiful books, but for me, it is more like a shift of my reading habit. Also looking across my side of the bookcase, you can already tell I am running out of space. After a year of getting this bookcase, my side started to get full, and there is still some epic fantasy series that I want to read, that I want to collect the hardcover version to display on this beautiful bookcase. And the point is, they are bloody long. There may be over 9 books in this series, so I have to be very careful about what books I want to add on these shelves. In 2024, I joined the Gospel GSFF in Immigrate, the Broken Binding Fantasy and Sci-Fi sub, Inkstone, Afterlight, and Fairyloot, so there are 7 in totals. And honestly, looking back now, it is quite a lot. Now in 2025, I have decided to only keep the Broken Binding Fantasy subscription and the Inkstone Quarterly sub. Occasionally, I may get some romance books from the Afterlight, but I doubt I will do it so often. So my plan of this kind of book subscription is like 2+1. I love the idea of the Broken Binding Fantasy subscription, where you can get a stunning hardcover of an older fantasy series. The art from them is always so beautiful, and then I can read a fantasy series that I know they are not gonna be on my TBR anytime soon, so I can pick up some like underrated fantasy series. And also they are always hardcover, so it kind of match what is going on my shelves. Inkstone Quarterly subscription means that I only got 4 books from them in a year, so it kind of giving me so much freedom to choose what I want to read. I don't really need to follow a very strict rule that I set for myself, which is to clear off these subscription books as soon as possible. I still got maybe 3 months to finish a book, so it is so much better than like the monthly subscription. I know that maybe in the end of the year book tag, I said that I am kind of interested in the Broken Binding new sci-fi and fantasy sub, or maybe the Fairyloot Quarterly Epic Fantasy subscription, but now I don't think I will do it. Like I said, it is like a change of my habit. I don't really read physical books anymore. So what's the point of keep buying so many special editions that I barely touch? They are like displayed on my shelf, and sometimes I do feel overwhelmed with the number of books that I get in a month. I won't be able to finish that many books in a month. And when I unhaul them, I have to sell them below cost, which is sort of upsetting. It is like the good old Marie Kondo. If something don't spark joy, what's the point of keeping them? By the way, I will still use this kind of book subscription as a new title guide. Like I said many times before, I am so bad at keeping up with all these new books. If I am really into certain new books, new titles, new authors, new series, whatever it is, I may just get a standard one or see if anyone's selling them from like private sellers, you know what I mean? Finally, I can share my temporary reading plan with you guys. The reason it is like a temporary is only because, like I said, I am so bad at keeping up with the new titles. So sometimes I do miss out 1 or 2 very exciting, very popular new books then I have to add them back to my TBR, which means that my reading will be messed up. I nearly say fucked up. But never mind, here are all the books or series I want to read in 2025. With my reading goal, which is 48 books in total for 2025, and then books coming from different book subscription, the free entry left on my annual TBR would be 48 minus 16, which is 32. With this quota, I plan to finish 2 fantasy series. The first one I have is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I only got 6 books left in this series, so I don't think it will be too difficult to achieve. I have heard that the books I need to pick up now is like the worst ones left in the series, so I am kind of scared to start this journey again. But this has to be done. I started this series maybe in January 2023, so it has been a long time, and it has to be done. I plan to read this series bi-monthly, so my monthly TBR won't be jammed with all this kind of epic fantasy series. If everything works according to my plan and I start reading this series in 2025, that means I will be able to complete this epic fantasy series by the end of 2025, which is such a fantastic news. Then I have a fantasy series that I want to read with you guys. Like I said in the end of the yearbook tag, I want to do like a book club or read-along or whatever you call it in this new year. This series is quite long with 9 books in total, and I think it would be a good idea to read it with you guys. It can motivate me to keep on reading this series and never give up, and then I can also share some more in-depth thoughts about this series with you guys with some sort of spoilers in there, because we would know what's happened. By the way, the series I am talking about is the Echo Saga by Philip C. Quantrill. This is like an underrated epic fantasy series, which from time to time I have heard people talking about it. Just by scrolling on Goodreads, you can see every book got at least 4 stars, which is such a good place to start with. If you want to know what this series, the Echo Saga, is about, I would suggest you to visit the website of the author, because I don't want to be a broken record to repeat the general synopsis again and again. Now I am not too sure when will I start this series, but I think the latest would be by March, so I can finish last book in November and make a wrap-up video of this series in December. Now if you do some simple maths, 32 free entries for my TBR, right? Minus these 2 series, I only got 17 spots left. I still got 3 books left with my Mistborn Era 2, let alone I really want to read Wind and Truth. That means we have only got 13 entries left. Then from my winter TBR, I still want to read 2 or 3 books from it, so hopefully I still got 11 books to read in 2025, which is not too many to be honest. If you have watched my most anticipated release of 2025, you will know these books I really want to get into, but I won't go into the details of every single book in this video, so you better check that video out. Firstly, we will time jump to April. There are 2 fantasy books I honestly can't wait to read. Firstly, I have A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett, the second book of Shadow of the Leviathan series. I read the first book, The Tainted Cup, in August, and it is like a mystery fantasy, which is a subgenre that I didn't expect I would love it so much. Then the other book I have for April is The Book That Held Her Heart by Mark Lawrence, the conclusion of the Library trilogy. Honestly, this book would definitely be on my April's TBR because I can't wait to see what's the ending gonna be like. I want to see if these 2 gonna be together again, or like what sort of drama will be brought out. Then coming to May, we have The Strength of the Few by James Islington. To be honest, I haven't read the first book, which is The Will of the Many, so I have to complete that one first before jumping to this one. But these two, I honestly don't feel like I am in a rush to complete because like I said, I haven't even started the first book yet. So I can spread these two books out in 2025, maybe reading the first book in the first half of the year, and then the second in the second half of the year, of course. In May, I also have The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. Now, this one I am more interested in because I haven't read anything by this author yet. I am not too sure here, but from the information I can gather, The Devils could be like a standalone and has nothing to do with the First Law series or First Law universe. So this is such a good way to see whether will I enjoy the writing style of Joe Abercrombie. If I do enjoy his writing, his character, his plot, I would definitely do another read-along, reading club, whatever you call it, with the First Law universe once I complete the Echoes saga, which is so exciting to think about. Then in July, I have The Sorrow of the Sea by Stephen Iron, the last book of the Ninjago and the Falcon trilogy. I just finished the second book last month, so I honestly can't wait to see how this series is gonna end. But the bad news is I need to wait another 6 months for the ending, which is such a long wait. At last, I have Of Empire and Dust by Ryan Cahill, the fourth novel of the Bound and the Broken series. At this moment, we don't have an expected release date of this book, but it should be out by the end of the year. Another book, honestly, I can't wait to check out because of how the last book ends. It was tragic, it was heartbreaking. I feel like from book 1 to book 4, the plot is definitely getting more immersive and the character work is just exceptional. I honestly miss them all. So after all of these series and books I want to complete in 2025, only if I am so lucky to have some more space with my TBR, I will quite likely to check out the Blood Swan Saga by John Gwynne. Another very popular author that I haven't checked out any work by him yet. I have heard quite a lot of positive reviews about this latest installment, and people compare it to Malice and said it is much better. Also, this series has just been concluded with the last book coming out back in December last year. So if I still got some time left for reading before the end of 2025, I would definitely check this series out. So this is my reading plan for 2025. I hope that by the end of the year, I can achieve majority of it, if not all. So if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel Fantasy so you won't miss anything from me. I will see you all real soon. Goodbye.